With a crazy gaming backlog, it's very rare that I enjoy a game enough to replay it, but Persona 4 is one of those special games that I replayed and will keep on replaying. However, today, we're talking about Persona 3, which I consider to be a darker big brother to Persona 4. The shared DNA is there, but the main story is less diverse and the pacing isn't as polished. It also happens to be more repetitive and frustrating. To be honest, I struggled to finish Persona 3 on the PlayStation 2 because it was rough around the edges. Luckily, I now have Persona 3 Reload. This is more than just a resolution bump. All of the assets have been reworked, and some gameplay features have been added. Can this new remake fix my gripes with the PlayStation 2 version? Let's find out. In the world of Persona 3, the day has 25 hours. The hidden hour, also known as the dark hour, occurs exactly at midnight, and only a few special people can perceive it. Your goal is to investigate a tower that only appears during the dark hour, which consists of over 200 floors of randomized dungeon crawling. Every day, the layout of each floor changes, making no two visits alike. This game absolutely oozes style. Every menu, animation, and transition feels carefully crafted to reinforce its unique identity. It is a mature game that blends Japanese school life with supernatural threat. During the day, you are a typical Japanese high school kid from 2009, doing stuff like studying for exams, building relationships with others, and working part-time jobs. There are 6 school days a week. School on Saturdays, no wonder the world is ending. During the dark hour, you fight hostile creatures called shadows. You and your team have special powers called personas, which is a physical manifestation of the character's psyche. While each character can only summon one specific persona, the main character is special, because he can summon hundreds of different kinds of personas. You can randomly get new personas at the end of battle, and you can fuse them to access even more powerful personas. Fusing personas is one of the most fun aspects of the game, partially because the designs are so fun to look at, and partially because each new persona expands your versatility in battle. Each persona can have up to 8 skills, which also includes passive skills. Having to choose which skills to keep and which to give up is surprisingly deep. Equally important is school life and socialization. As you strengthen bonds with others, the persona that you fuse will gain an experience boost. Forming a social bond with others is called a social link. Every character you form a bond with have their own mini-story arc, and sometimes you have to choose between multiple dialogue choices. These skits are some of the highlights in an already great game, giving a shot of humor as well as some serious moments. The story is intriguing and solid, but it can feel a little long-winded once you include the mountain of optional cutscenes. Don't get me wrong, the dialogue is high quality, concise, and effective, but there are just a lot of scenes. The game can easily reach 75 hours long. I actually got flavor fatigue quite a few times during my playthrough. It's not a game I can binge through in a couple weeks. Thankfully, the battle system never gets old. This game has a time limit to fit all your activities, because there is a calendar system, and the story will advance during full moons. Once the full moon arrives, you'll be thrust into a boss fight whether you're prepared or not. There's no time limit within a day, but once you commit to a task like eating at a restaurant, time will advance. Committing to activities will improve your relationships or upgrade your character's stats. The combat is turn-based, and it revolves around finding and hitting enemy weaknesses. Hitting a weakness deals extra damage, knocks them down, and gives you an extra turn, but beware because enemies can also hit your weaknesses. If all the enemies are knocked down, you can perform an all-out attack, which does massive damage to all enemies. This all-out attack doesn't cost a turn, and doesn't cost resources like SP to use. On top of the 6 elements, there are also 3 types of non-elemental attacks, which are Slash, Strike, and Pierce. The game tracks which elements are effective and which are not. Because the main character can switch between personas, it makes it much easier for the main character to hit the enemy's weakness. There are multiple party members to choose from, and you can only bring 4 fighters. Each character has different elemental strengths and weaknesses. If you like dogs, Koromaru is an awesome choice for a party member. Not only does he kick butt and save the world, but he's a good boy. The combat gameplay itself is very well balanced. The damage number feels tightly tuned, and the system rewards good choices such as hitting the enemy's weakness or bringing allies that are immune to the boss's elemental attacks. The remake changes a few mechanics from the original game to make it more flexible and less frustrating. You can now manually select what your allies do, and your allies no longer get tired after exploring for too long. There are also new mechanics, like the giant clock, which lets underleveled characters catch up to the protagonist. Probably the most powerful new mechanic is called Shift. After hitting an enemy's weakness, you can pass your free turn to another party member. Another new mechanic introduced in Persona 3 Reload is called Theurgy. Once a character's Theurgy bar is full, they can perform an ultra-powerful move that pierces resistance. This game's difficulty is no joke. The easiest difficulty is on par with the standard difficulty for RPGs these days, and it only gets harder from there. Let's talk about the graphics. It looks amazing even on the last generation of consoles like the PlayStation 4 Pro. The models are clean, the UI is a work of art, and even the loading screens are short and sweet. The characters have a more realistic proportion than the deformed and stylized models of the PS2 games. Whether that's good or bad is up to you. The new 2D portraits are also redrawn to reflect this more standardized style, but they're still very crisp and nice. Both the 3D models and 2D portraits have perfect English lip sync. The animation in this game is superb, like walking away from explosions superb. Do you know that each character has multiple animations for their normal attack? That's right. Every time you do a normal attack, the character can perform a different animation for no other reason other than spectacle and variety. Meanwhile, the music knocks the ball out of the park and enhances the mood perfectly. However, since this game is a bit long, the soundtrack lacks variety. Another thing I admire is the technical stability. I didn't encounter a single crash or noticeable frame dip on the PlayStation 4 Pro version for the entire 75 hours. The game also works great on older PC hardware, like an 8-year-old mini computer on integrated graphics. I very much enjoyed Persona 3 Reload. I feel it is a smoother experience than the original game, but there's still a lot of repetition, especially in transitions between content. Persona 4 and 5 are more well-paced, and the dungeons and bosses in Persona 4 and 5 are better tied to the story, making them personal. Comparing any game to Persona 4 or 5 might seem unfair, because those games are some of the best of all time. Still, Persona 3 Reload is still leaps and bounds above an average RPG. If you enjoy long games, tight turn-based combat, and plentiful character development skits, I highly encourage you to at least give the demo a try. The demo is free, and it covers the first 6 hours of the game. That's pretty crazy for a demo. Dadozy Gaming gives Persona 3 Reload a 9 out of 10. Thanks for watching, and happy gaming!